So, we now know more about Caroline.
Yes.
This episode is the fifth episode, I believe. We're coming real close to the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, the title of the episode is, So What's the Deal with Caroline? And for anyone who may not have been watching or doesn't remember, Caroline is the Jeff character's would-be agent, who is really just scamming him out of $200 a month, making him think that she's gonna bring him success. And
deals and the whole shebang.
But up until this episode, what have you thought of the Caroline character?
I understand her place from like a comedic standpoint. I mean, I don't like her personally.
Yeah. She's entertaining, but not likable.
Yeah.
Like, so many characters are like that, and Jillian Zawoski does a good job of playing that type of character without becoming unbearable.
No.
Which is a problem that some unlikable characters can have.
Mm-hmm.
But she does it very well, and this episode, I feel, doesn't really make her likable, but it shows like a few sympathetic moments.
Yeah.
Like we get some flashbacks to a year or two before the main show started, and we find out some very interesting things. Like she lives alone and her cable keeps going out, and she is on the phone yelling at this person at the cable company. And I don't know if we covered this scene, but in the original short film that started the reviewer's show, Andy worked at a cable company, the Andy character, played by Brian Lewis, and in that his one scene at the cable company in the original short film, he's talking with a client who yells at him for being incompetent and continuously mailing stuff to her, bills I think, or like she stopped using the company and the company keeps sending her shit, and instead of resolving this phone call, he just yanks the cord out. In this episode, we find out that that person he was talking to was Caroline. I just thought, like, oh shit. Yeah, like, wow, that's a good tie-in.
Yeah, I liked it.
And also, you remember that scene in the original short film where Brad's former child star character is being interviewed by the Messiah?
Yeah.
And we see that that child actor, Caroline, was that guy's agent for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And before she became Jeff's agent, she worked with this former child star who fired her for her because of her drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like she talks about walking to a crack house to get her cardio in. And then we first we think she's talking to a therapist, and then we see that she's just on this guy's couch, and he's like, "You're on crack now? What the fuck? Is that why you made me audition for that Radiation Baby movie?" And she's like, "They don't just serve crack, Nicholas. Does a Waffle House only serve waffles? No, they also have fantastic crystal meth.
And pancakes, or potatoes."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm losing faith in you as my agent." And the scene where she snorts a bunch of cocaine with
happy face?
Yeah, the coke's made to look like a smiley face, and the narrator. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned that this show has a narrator, but it does, and he introduced.
Oh, it does. Yeah, sorry. We haven't talked about that at all.
Yeah, like, the show has a narrator, this guy named Scott Murray, and the reviewers is his only credit. And as far as narrators go, he's got a very good voice.
Yeah.
Very smooth, old-fashioned type of narration.
Good low voice.
And I don't remember exactly what he said. In his first episode, he's like, "I've been told that my voice can make vaginas swell and dicks cream," or something like that. I can't remember, but it was something like that. And I guess the voice is kind of sexy. And,
He's a good voice.
and he talks about how Caroline, on some level, Caroline and her actions, while on one level it's kind of despicable, it's also kind of adorable. I don't know, I think Jillian, has a way of, just being cute at times. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think this episode made me like Michelle even more.
Yeah. Michelle came by and shows again, you don't fuck with this bitch.
Nope.
And, she does threaten Caroline, but it's a humorous threat.
Yeah.
She threatens to make her watch Andy's show. And, I like a scene that I thought was funny was when she went to that church. Like, it's very brief. We don't see her go in, but the narrator's
like while she was walking to it, I was like, I wonder what she's going to do there. Is she actually?
He's like, after Michelle put the fear of God in her. And the episode, the last 2 episodes we've watched have been of the shorter length.
Yeah.
Like only about 15 minutes each. And we only have 1 episode to go after this.
Aww.
The show was very brief.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it so brief? You can thank Jake Norville for that. But anyway, the episode involves not only Caroline's backstory, but Michelle telling her to get away from Jeff, to stop making him pay her.
Mm-hmm.
So, afraid of Michelle, and yeah, Sarah, by the way, I called her Sarah Lewis a few vlogs ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think I forgot to tell you, Dave Gobble, who plays the Rickhead,
Yeah.
he and Sarah got married last year.
Oh, wow.
And, so now her name's Sarah Gobble, and as
What a terrible last name, I'm sorry.
Guy, when he heard they got married, said, "Gobble gobble."
Double gobble.
And Sarah, I think, yeah, she took Dave's last name, and she can be very scary. Like, she's shown in, I think The Reviewers is the best show to show that, Sarah has a lot of range. Like, she was the lead in Brad's movie from 2010, The Hooker with a Heart of Gold. And she carried that film very well.
Mm-hmm.
But here in The Reviewers, like, she gets a lot more, like, she's not just, like, quirky and, tough.
Mm-hmm.
She is really, like, I'd be a little scared if I was in the same room with Michelle. And that face she makes, I think you imitated it once. Can you do it again?
Uh-huh.
Like, that intense smile. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, can't put me on the spot.
But, the episode ends with Caroline meeting with Jeff in the park, and tries to, I'll give the character credit, she tries to be nice about it.
Yeah.
She lies, but she tries to be nice. Jeff's adorably naive. Just, yeah, like, so stupid, but out of all between him and Andy, Jeff is still, like, the smarter reviewer of the two.
Oh, definitely.
And he offers to pay her even more money. And,
For not doing anything.
like I said,
Sorry.
he's adorably stupid.
So naive.
And, he talks about how he wants to do an episode wearing a bird mask and call himself Chick Norris.
That was cute. I liked all his ideas. I was like, oh, I can see like why you would have thought of that. That's cute.
And I liked how Caroline was like, I'm more of a Van Damme girl. Then he goes, I'm reviewing sudden death. Because, hold on a moment.
Where is it? Oh, wait. Right here. Van Damme.
Yeah.
Sudden death.
It's about terrorists invading and setting up explosives at a hockey stadium where the Stanley Cup is happening.
Oh.
And Van Damme is a former fireman in charge of making sure everything works at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes the only one who knows about the terrorists, and he's the only one who can stop them.
I've seen that when I was growing up, and I was really, really, really little. And I remember, like, seeing the last 10 minutes of it.
Oh, I think it's one of Van Damme's best.
I'll have to maybe check it out again.
And I couldn't resist. I had to get that. But Jeff, completely unaware of like Michelle threatening Caroline, or that Caroline is not doing shit for him, blindly agrees to continue paying her, and Caroline agrees to continue taking his money because she's fucking broke, and this money was literally the only way she was paying either rent or paying for her drugs. And at the end,
Doesn't look like she's getting rent paid.
at the end, she says that she lies again, saying that the person who wanted her to stop paying Jeff to stop paying her is Andy. And what did you think of that final scene?
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of confused me because I was like, wait. I was trying to figure out why she was doing it. I mean, besides, like, being to put him against Andy a little bit more, but I'm like, but she's not getting any more money. Like, I thought she was trying to, like, manipulate it so that she would...
I'm not going to spoil everything. I mean, I would normally wait until we see each other again, but I don't know when that'll be, so I'll give you a little hint now so it's not too confusing. Basically, in the next episode, Caroline is going to try to get Andy to be a client of hers as well. To keep up the ruse that she's doing with Jeff.
Yeah.
And the final episode of the reviewers will... I don't know. I don't think it's the ideal ending to this series. But as far as final episode goes, after a cancellation that nobody saw coming,
yeah,
I think it's a somewhat satisfactory last episode.
Was it written as the final episode, or was it just happened to...
It was written as a season finale. Not a series finale. Like, there was definitely going to be more.
Yeah.
And then the whole controversy with Jake happened. So they had to scrap the show.
Yeah.
Brad talked a few months after Jake was fired about shooting a proper finale, but writing the Jeff character out. But
that would have been really difficult.
Yeah, like
I don't know how the last...
or finding somebody who could possibly replace him.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't continue the show as a whole thing, but Brad thinks they could possibly do one final show just to give it some closure.
Yeah.
But he said that at this point, almost 2 years ago, and he mentioned he might still do it someday, just even if it's a few years in between. He says it, and Doug Walker has done this too with old shows. They all feel like you need to have some closure for your shows.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, it ends with Caroline continuing to take advantage of our lovable, retarded reviewer. And yeah, I think that's about it. The only other thing is the scene with Dave as the Rickhead, and we see that Caroline was a watcher of him before she took Jeff on as a client, and the Rickhead is still an asshole, but a somewhat entertaining one. And this Rickhead tangent, he talks about how there's never been a movie about this character called Power Pig, saying, they don't do movies about animals unless they're fuckable. And let me tell you, Power Pig is very fuckable. Well, hey, they made Howard the Duck, why not? By the way, I got a comment on my Howard the Duck video. The video where me and my cousin Nick were watching the sex scene in that movie.
Yeah.
Between the duck and a human. We got a comment on that video from someone who wrote pretty much an essay on why interspecies relationships are okay. Yep.
Interesting.
Well, not in real life, but in comics.
Yeah.
Because Howard the Duck is originally a comic book character.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wrote like an essay on interspecies relationships in like the X-Men universe. And I didn't respond to this guy, but when I read that comment, part of me felt like if I was to write anything back, it would be, "Are you trolling me?" Seriously, what the fuck? So that's our vlog for So What's the Deal with Caroline? And
Thanks for watching.
Next vlog will be for what is at this point the series finale, Newcastle. Till next time.
Adios.